Okay guys, I'm going to do my best here to show you how to rig up for bead fishing for steelhead. What we tend to run is a 10.5 foot rod rated 6 to 10. You want a good braid line, around 30-pound test. Power Pro works fine. You can use other braids too. I personally use 30-pound Power Pro. You want a good Shimano reel with a good drag in it, like a Sedona is the cheaper version, or you can get like a Sihara or Symmetry. Those are all good solid reels. So what you want to do is set up your rods. You want to put in a sliding bobber with a bobber stop. So you have, put your bobber stop on first, tighten it down, you pull off a little plastic piece. Then you want to make sure you have a bobber stop bead, which would slide up to your knot so it holds there. Then what that does is it keeps the bobber knot from coming through the top of the bobbers. And that would slide up and hit right there. And so you can adjust your depth with that bobber off the bobber stop. And so I'm running a sliding weight that goes so it can slide up and down the line here. Then you want to fix a barrel swivel on that and tie a good Palomar knot. That way your braid don't slide out of the swivel. And then you're going to want to run a bead leader off of this, and you can, so you don't have to run a super long leader, you can adjust your bobber up and run about a 4-foot leader for the bead. And then you can do another 4 foot up there, and it makes it a lot easier for you guys to cast. It's a good way to start out if you're new to fishing and you want to start bead fishing and not have the struggles of trying to use the long leaders and being hung up in trees. So what you want to do is get you some 10-pound. I prefer 10-pound because a lot of times you hook bigger fish on these beads and they tend to break you off because of the current, and they'll run down through the rapids and you got to chase them, you know. So it hasn't shied me away from 10-pound by any means. So you want to run about 5 foot a leader for your hook. And I'll show you the type of knot I use for holding my leader. It's just a regular egg loop. It's one of the best knots out there. I have a bead hook. I don't know if you guys can see this, but on the bead hook, the tip kicks off to the side, which is called a sidewash hook. I'm running a straight eye hook. Then I also run a number 2 owner, which is a great hook. It has a little more bite to it that's down, but there's a pretty good difference in the hooks. This is a straight eye. They all have their purpose, and it's personal preference. I like the straight eye. It seems like it digs a little bit better. It's everybody's preference. Anyway, here we go. I'm just going to tie on a hook, and we're going to do a egg loop. So you want to do about 10 or 11 wraps, just like this. Then you stop at the top. Take the end of your leader here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start this over, and I'm going to use some line you guys can actually see. So let me get this. I normally use Ultra Green Maxima, but I just want to use this line here so you guys can see. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to demo how to tie a bead hook and put the bead on with the stop so you can bead fish. I'm going to use some bright lines so you guys can see what I'm doing. Normally I would use Maxima Ultra Green. 8 or 10 pound works great. So about 5 foot leader. Okay, so I'm taking a nice bead hook here. It's got a great bend to it, really sharp, just a sticky hook. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to try to hold this so you guys can see it, but with the line here, you're going to run it through the eye, Then you're going to take and go about 11 or 12 wraps. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then you're going to take the end, run it back through. This is just a regular egg loop. Then you're going to want to take and keep your line straight here. You're going to want to twist away from you, go around the bottom of the hook, twist away, go around the bottom of the hook, twist away, just like this. About 12 times, 13 times. Just like so. Okay, now hold up at the top, pinch here, pull up, and your line will come in there. It makes a little egg loop there, just in case you want to run eggs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, pick up this, and I'm going to show you the beads I use. These are lured beads that I run. They represent a natural egg on the bottom. They sink, so they tumble across the bottom instead of float up real high. I prefer a sinking bead. To me, it represents and rolls across the rocks and gets caught in the current and moves just like a real egg, versus another bead that will be really buoyant and just whip around real fast. These have weight to them, so they move the slower even though there's current. And I don't know if it's a major deal or not, but I know it's a game changer for me. And this is some of my other tackle I have. Gammas, and I do offer custom spinners. And I do have a lot of spinner beads if you want to build spinners, to get a hold of me there. But back to this, I'm going to show you how to peg a bead here on a hook. So what you do, I'm going to pick out like number 10, that's one of my favorite size. Just run it through the bead hole here. Run it down. You want to stop about 3 inches from the hook. Right here, like so. If you can see the line, see the bead here. Okay, now you just take a toothpick. This is the quickest way to do it, and it's very efficient. Just take that toothpick, jam it up in there. You want to stop right when it gets to the top, so they don't see a lot of the toothpick. Then you just break it off, like so. Pick off a little bit of the extra, so this looks like a nice natural bead sitting there. Then it'll hold it nice in place. And so that's kind of how I peg it. It's going to look just like that, if you guys can see that. All right, now just tie it on to the swivel off the end of your line here, and you're going to be bead fishing before you know it. With that slider bobber, you can go around and adjust the length, the depth for the different water you're fishing, so you're not limited to just certain drifts. I use an improved knot, wrap it around about 10 times, go back through your eye here, then making an improved loop right there. Nice tight knot, trim off your ends, just like so. And what you might, with this here, the way the weight's hanging down here, you don't have to. A lot of guys have put split shot on down here with a bead, but it'll just hang up more since you got a weight hanging down here. What you want to do is kind of adjust the depth of your bobber to match. Say your bobber's running, you're fishing 5 foot of water, run your bobber like 3 foot deep to your weight. That way it's dropping the bead down in the right zone, in the bead pretty much drop and do the rest on the bottom, then it'll be in the zone. Main thing with the bead fishing, just like anything else, is you got to keep your bait in the zone. So when you're all said and done, it's going to look like this right here. You're going to have about a 5 foot leader. I'm going to pick this up. Let me show you here. See the bobber there? Then a bobber stop up there. Coming up into your bead right here. And you are bead fishing. Hopefully that's enough info for you guys. And I wish you the best of luck out there. And my stock here is pretty limited, but I do have a lot, and I know it's going to run out because it's just surplus stuff, and it's pretty much get it while you can, because before I know it's going to be gone. But I will always have the beads, and these are really getting popular. So it's a special order bead. It's really hard for me to get, and it's really expensive for me to get. But I'm just trying to share something that has changed my life, and I'm hoping to do the same thing for you guys. It's kind of like a gift from me to you, and I just want to see you guys catch fish and do it the right way. So tight lines all, and I wish you the best of luck. And thank you for you guys' support.